there are different ways to quote unquote rebuild. We didn't tear it down and what they call tanking. We didn't tear it down to the studs. We decided to just continue. And a lot of people would say it's not the smart move because you should just go and get the first pick and tear it down and lose 100 games. And we didn't want to do that. We wanted to compete. We wanted to put a good product on the field for our fans and for the players that were still here. And look, in 17, 18, and 19, we did that. 17, we got to the playoffs our first year here. We won 95 games, I think, or something like that. And then 18 and 19, we won 85 and 87 games or something along those lines and missed the playoffs. But we were first place. I mean, we collapsed in 18, but we were first place up until September. And so all the while we were doing that, we were also making some small trades in the background, even larger ones when we traded Zach Greinke and Paul Goldschmidt, because those players were going to be hard for us to afford given like where we were budgetarily.
Yeah, the answer to his daughter on that one, she was not happy.
Yeah, but and then we didn't quote unquote tank, and I would argue that we rebuilt at the same time. And just because we didn't get the first pick in the draft, we still have players that have impacted our minor leagues and major league team, even by picking in the middle or the second round or wherever it was. And so we look at our window I mean, we're in the NL West. There's no secret that the San Francisco Giants and the Los Angeles Dodgers won 100 plus games this year and are two of the better organizations. And the San Diego Padres we have three teams with payrolls close to or above exceeding 200 million.
What's your payroll, by the way?
And we were around 100. And so, I would never use payroll as an excuse. When you have the young players, you can kind of layer in. It's a little easier to layer in to go out and sign players in free agency because some of the young players that are just coming up are going to be a little cheaper as you control 0 to 3. Basically your first 3 years, you control them. And so there's a dynamic that we see the next few years shifting. You're starting to see it towards the end of this year where a lot of our young players really took a step forward. And you'll start to see that shift. And hopefully these guys bring a different level of energy. And I'm not telling you anything you don't know. A 24-year-old is a lot quicker and more dynamic than maybe a 34-year-old.
Right, so right.
But there's a level of experience that you also want to have on the team.
Cheaper too, right?
Yeah.
But still, just not to belabor the point, because genuinely, Amiel and I never discussed this. I mean, despite like nightly happy hours during COVID and what have you, we just don't talk about this stuff. The Padres and the Dodgers have double your payroll. I mean, it seems crazy. I appreciate you not using that as an excuse, but they have twice as much money on you to spend on players. And then you have the Giants winning 100 games. I don't know where their payroll's at, but I mean, as an outsider who's not an expert, I don't see how you win against people who are able to spend twice as much as you on talent. Wouldn't that give them, in theory, twice as much talent, right?
Yeah, okay. So the argument is Tampa does it with the Yankees and the Red Sox in their division. And the Yankees and the Red Sox have 200. Look, I mean, the Dodgers payroll, 260, 280, somewhere in that range. And the Red Sox and the Yankees are in the 200s, not like they're probably around 200. They're not 280, but still, I just think we have to coach better. We have to scout better. We have to do what we do better. And we're not there yet. Like we won 52 games this year, and that's on us. Like, we did a really poor job in a lot of areas, and we made some changes, including player personnel areas that, I am partly responsible for. Like, we put together a team. It was not a very competitive team this year, and that's the truth. And so whatever happened. We look back and are trying to learn from our mistakes, but we're all accountable for it. It's not just the coaches. It's not just the scouts. It's all of us. The front office is probably the most accountable. It's not just the players. And we have to change that. We're going to make that right.